Really not,
Jeff Flock is actually still in there. So before he can come out, as we keep that camera right there, I want to just explain what's going on here. A China state planning official warned, here comes a penalty. Here comes a penalty against an unnamed U.S. auto manufacturer. The accusation is that insert company here. We know GM does business there. We know Ford does business there. Instructed distributors to fix prices starting back in 2014. There's Jeff Flock. Impeding competition. Jeff, she wouldn't comment on that. And by the way, we also have on the phone Gordon Chang, who, of course, is the author of China, the coming collapse of China. But first to you, Jeff. She punted on that one.
She sure did. She really was not taking the bait on that at all. And of course, Mary Barra is very good at doing that sort of thing and kind of steering clear of controversy. I thought it was interesting, though. She has agreed to be on President-elect Trump's Economic Council, but she said at this point that was just a paper transaction. She, at this point, has not even talked to him. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah,
I know, Gordon, you're on the phone right here. Gordon, what is your digging turned up? Is it Ford? We know Ford has operations in China. General Motors does business there. They've got the Buick plant for many, many years with a Chinese partner. And now suddenly, post-phone call where Donald Trump took a congratulatory call with the stated enemy of China, the country of Taiwan, suddenly they start crying price fixing against at least one of these companies. Again, we don't know which one.
Yeah, we don't know which one. And everyone's been saying it's either GM or Ford. And clearly what China is trying to do is intimidate Trump, largely because of his comments on Taiwan. But we got to remember that last year, China had a $334.1 billion trade surplus against the U.S. So in a trade war, which the Chinese certainly seem they want, they'd be in a very difficult position because trade deficit countries have nothing to lose, and we're the trade deficit country.
Well, it's so interesting that the Chinese government, here's why I really hope that Donald Trump realizes you don't want to attack your free media. A free press is so extraordinarily important. They don't have that in China because the Chinese government clearly used China Daily News, their newspaper, to get out this message. And here's what they put up. They wrote, for the American economy to be great again, okay, that's clearly a snipe at Donald Trump, the U.S. needs to cement economic relations with China, not destroy them. Read between the lines there, Gordon.
Well, what they're saying is that they're going to retaliate against American companies. And, we've now had 2 notices in the last 2 days about an antitrust investigation against a U.S. company. But, on the other hand, the Chinese have got to remember that if they actually do retaliate against a U.S. company in such a clear fashion, they are undermining their own position in global supply chains by making themselves appear unreliable, by elevating geopolitical concerns over economic ones. They threatened economic sanctions against U.S. companies in 2010 because of Taiwan. They didn't carry through,
right,
I think, largely because of their concern.
Right. Interesting.
Absolutely.
So they do walk up to the lip of the abyss, and then they kind of pull back a little bit. But this time, you've got to figure that it's one of those 2 names, General Motors or Ford. We still do not know. Mary Barra not taking the bait, Jeff Flock. Instead, she had news that I find extraordinarily significant. General Motors is going to open a plant to do autonomous vehicle production, I believe, but in Michigan. Talk about that.
Yeah, the Orion Township plant is where they're going to make all of these autonomous vehicles, not unlike the one you see right there behind me, that they will test on Michigan roads. And this is huge because testing them in California or Arizona is one thing, but of course this is where it all happens here in Detroit for both GM and Ford. So having the ability to test them both, for both of them to be able to test on the roads here only figures to accelerate the development of these vehicles, and that's just what Mary Barra says she wants to achieve.
Jeff Flock, and thanks to you, Gordon Chang, for jumping on the horn with us. We appreciate your perspective. Thanks so much.